Hey everyone, it's Dim, and this I wanted something else for intro. I want to stop saying the name of the podcast because it sounds kind of silly. We'll see how it goes. And yeah, I have a feeling that today's podcast gonna be strange. I talk about this all the time. I guess. Yeah, I should stop rambling and let's get to it. I wanted to talk today about the topics that I got from one of my friends that I met sometime, like not a long time ago. We were talking about like how positive thinking, how people treat positive thinking, how people treat um, just this advice of positive-minded people. I guess like a lot of people who are into coaching, who are trying to do the stuff I am doing. And I guess I felt falling victim to that from time to time as well. It's focusing too much on the positives. Like what's usually a concern for people who try to switch to positive thinking, that it will be the type of avoidance, that it will be just ignoring the problems, not being able to work on them and saying, like, imagine you have some problem that you want to fix and you will just think about, oh, everything is all right, like you will try to justify things. For a lot of people who on the start in this, and who for a lot of people who try to teach this to other people, I noticed that for myself as well. It's really easy to go into the field of saying that everything is good, even seemingly bad things that happen to you, even the setbacks are good. And for me now, after years of practice, it works. I understand that I will still take actions. I'm not using it as an excuse. For me, reframing everything to the positive works. But I definitely know that if I did that a couple of years ago, that would have been just a highway to complacency. And I understand all of these people. Like, I may forget from time to time that not everyone has the same perspective as me. Either they don't build it yet, or they're still afraid of it, or maybe they just think differently, something else works for these people. Like, just reframing everything to the positive may not work for everyone. I may think that it is the best solution, but it may not work for you. So, and what I wanted to focus on is this reframing to the positive, like my side of things. That as we were talking, we, we brushed upon the subject of how people focused on positive thinking. One side effect is it can be like a complacency, what I talked before. And the second thing, it can be being too focused on the positives causes to treat negative feelings. I mean, let's call them negative. We can call them destructive. Something like fear, something like anger, despair, all this stuff, right? Pride. What else is there? I'm going in my head through the map of consciousness from letting go. Yeah, like basically the feelings that give you low energy, low actionable energy, something that you cannot really use. They can be useful, but they're not really actionable and adding to your life. So it's really easy by focusing on the positive, by trying to think positively, blame yourself for feeling negative emotions. And that is probably even worse problem than feeling them in the first place. You can stay at anger, you can stay at fear for a long time until you will be ready to move on. You will be ready to move on eventually if you want to move on, if you try to improve that. But if you blame yourself for it, now you're trying to get down the scale of emotional levels. Now, when you feel like you may feel angry about something, and it's actually actionable thing, but when you later put yourself down for it, well, you blame yourself for it, and that firstly will take away a lot of your energy because it's an internal battle, and secondly, it gets you down to guilt and shame, and that is not really good because that's less actionable state. Because like you blaming yourself, like you're almost telling yourself that you do not deserve to have this anger, that you should be better. Well, maybe you should be better. It's about pride, and it's even better. That's an interesting thought. But usually it just gets you somewhere into, I guess, guilt. So what I'm trying to ramble my way into today, you're allowed to feel shitty. You're allowed to feel angry. You're allowed to feel better than other people, meaning feel pride. You're allowed to feel fear. You even allowed to feel guilty and be ashamed of something. That is reality. That is your current state. It's not bad. Now, I would add the caveat that we should always try to, not should, like, it would be better to try to push higher, try to push to something neutral, at least not destructive to you. Uh, Trying to get to some level when you won't put yourself down and just do things because you want to do them, even if not for the positive emotions, just because you know it will add to your life, not because you're missing something or feeling bad about it. But it is what we want to go towards. It's kind of our end goal or temporary goal. It's something in the future. It's what we strive to get to. But being in a state in these destructive states is not a bad thing. I want to just get that into your mind. It's not a bad thing. It does not make you a bad person. Because thinking that it will keep you in the states for longer or just strip away the rest of your energy that you don't really have much because of being in this state. These states have their drawbacks. Being fearful is not really actionable, and you will just miss a lot of your chances. Feeling guilty is really painful stuff and does not really give you anything to change it. But it's good to remember that I almost missed right now a couple of seconds ago that it still gives you something. That is good to remember. Any state you're in, anything that you experience is there for some purpose. Just think about it. If it's not acting on its purpose, why would it be there? Feeling guilty, it's a protection mechanism in some way. It's like you need to justify things. You need to maybe it still adds something to you. Like having guilt is already at least having something when you don't know that like you deserve something more, for example. It still gives you something. Now it may not be a really healthy thing to have this. It may be really destructive. but it still gives you something. So it's there for some purpose. Your mind invented that to protect itself. So putting it down because of it just serves its purpose, it's not a really kind thing to do. So first thing I want you to understand, and probably the last thing I want to understand from this podcast, is to accept your current state, accept where you are. Not think that you're less of a human being for feeling angry, for doing something angry even, for even acting on your anger, or for feeling guilty, for feeling ashamed, for feeling you're missing something. You're not a less of a human being, you're just in a lower state of being, and that's okay. That's that's as valid as being like in loving state, in peaceful state. It's just as valid. It's the current moment. It's not bad by itself. It's only bad if we label it like that. So like you may want to improve it, but it doesn't mean it is bad now. So don't try to not label it like that. And it may be hard to do. I understand that. But just having the intention of trying to like if you have this habit of just labeling everything as every negative emotion as something that you really want to get rid of, something that it's really bad, it may be really hard to switch off from that, to label it at least neutral, to not label it at all, just having the neutral mindset about it. It may be hard thing to do, but just know that having this idea in your head, just repeating it to yourself, that even after that, after you may feel angry, you may beat yourself up for it, but then when you kind of calm down, take a step back and think about it and give yourself a pat on the back mentally or physically, that works as well. And just try to, after that, make an effort to consider it, to treat it neutrally. If you can find some reasons to be grateful for it, like I always talk about lately, like writing 5, 10 reasons why you can be grateful for this experience, for you being angry, for example, or you being uh, even ashamed of something. Yeah, like, just try this. And no matter if you can or cannot do anything that I talk about right now, just the fact that you think about it, just the fact that you just, but just think about it. Like, do you really want to feel painful because you feel some emotion? I think deep down, none of us want to feel that pain. Even if we believe, I believe that this pain drives me somewhere. But deep down, even then, I had the mindset like I have to feel pain, but it would be good to not feel pain and still do that. I just don't know how to. But like I don't think any of us wants to feel pain from these emotions at least. So just keeping that in mind, being kinder to yourself, even after the fact, just having some consolation, having some treating yourself as a friend. It can be a good thing, and just having this in mind already helps you. And with time, it will get better, I promise you. On my experience, on the experience of other people that I talked with, of the experience of people who gave me this in the first place, it really gets easier. It might take you months or years. It took me 3 or 4 years to get better at it, to get to my current state from constantly beating myself up for everything. But it will happen. It will happen at some point. Just keep in mind that the idea that you don't really want to hurt yourself because you're feeling something. All feelings are valid. You're not worse human by feeling something. You're just a human. That's all I wanted to say for today. I don't remember exactly where I started, but I actually wanted to talk about this concept of, yeah, I started from positive thinking, aren't I? Mm, I guess I will cover it in some different podcast. This episode was about not feeling like that feeling bad is okay, and trying not feeling bad about feeling bad, right? Okay, I'm gonna leave you at that, and I will even say different outro, I guess, that have whatever you want in your life. Have accept any emotion that you currently have. I cannot evade that. Accept any emotion that you currently have, and that will make you happy.